Let me check if this is recording. Yes, it's recording. So, hey guys, all good? So, this week we had another crazy week with some volatile action because of high impact news, which always sucks, right? So, I'm gonna try to go quickly through this so we don't have a long video. And you can see here, I am at $464 in equity, in floating profits. My balance is like 90. So I started the week with 300. So I lost like $210 in the process of doing this. And not a really great performance, to be honest, even though we are on the green, right? But a big chunk of this loss was a trade I took, a couple of trades I took on the natural gas, because I had to leave like a big stop for my limit orders because I think Tuesday and Wednesday I was at home only during the morning, so I spent the whole day out and I got back home only in the evening. So I had to take a risk there and set the limit orders with like a bigger stop. But unfortunately, I got stopped out on those, and that was a big chunk of the losses. I could have been way better. And also, I got a little bit carried away in gold, trying my anticipation trades. Trying to pick it top, and that I got stopped out a lot of times there too. But lots of break even and very small losses, but they sum up, right? And I was on a mission. I'm on a mission to sell gold, and you guys are going to see. Well, let's start here with natural gas then. So in natural gas, I was able to place a trade right there on the top, you see. How I did it like this. And the only reason I did it was because of the mustard went over the 68 level there, you see, which usually means a imminent reversal. And you see how we got all that action there was below the mustard. You see, the mustard was above the 68 and the white line was doing that shenanigans up there below the mustard, you see. So it gave me more confidence to try and sell here. The only reason I didn't took more sells was because at this point here at the beginning of the week I had $300, and I didn't want to spread my balance too thin. I wanted to try and take trades in other markets too. And in this market here, even though I'm using the smallest position possible there, which is 0.01, it's still big, for $300, because the moves, even with this size here, they are considerable. Just let me show you here. For example, you see here, a small move like this is already $10 there, you see, with only 0.01. Well, it's not updating because the market is closed, of course, so it doesn't make any difference if I do this. Okay, so that trade, you see, market collapsed, and around here I was able to place a couple more orders, and when price was around here, my floating profits were at almost like $800, summing with some trades in crude oil that I'm going to show you. But as you guys know, I don't take profits. I don't close trades based on the floating profits, which this might answer a question I received a guy asked me, why didn't you take the $10,000 when you saw there in your floating profits, right? Because of that, my previous videos. And guys, you can't make a trade decision because you saw some value. Oops, let me show. You can't make a trade decision because you saw some value here, right? That's not a logical decision. It's based on emotion, right? It's not based on your targets here. And trust me, what if you close your positions there because you saw a value you consider high there? Okay, you close those positions. Oh, give me that profit. Okay, now you got the profits. Okay. And then the market, just imagine if you took the 10K around here or here, I don't know. It's just an example. And then the market just keeps going and going and going. And then instead of having 10K, you would have like 30 or 40K. Man, you would be kicking yourself for weeks. Man, at least I would. It puts me in a very dark place mentally. It's way, way, way worse than just seeing the floating profits come and go. It's way worse when you close the trades yourself. And then if you just, let them run, it would have given you like 3 times more, 4 times more. And you won't forgive yourself for that. And it's going to affect your trade negatively for weeks. Anyways, I digress now. Let's get back to here. So let me just activate the show trade history here. And you can see I had 2 trades here that one got stopped out at a small loss and the other kept going. So this trade summed with that trade up there. That's why I almost had like $800 around here. So, but my targets were down there, and I even tried to sell here, because we went above value. We had the shark thing on the order there above value, grabbing liquidity there, and this was all red, right? This only turned green around here, so I tried to sell it. And this was the day that I had to set some limit orders here. You see how the stops are up there? This was the big loss here. See, man, $14, $15 loss, around $30 here. Around $30 here. It was a bad loss. I had to take a risk here because I wasn't at home to babysit this, so nothing I can do about it now. And here I tried again. You see, at first during overnight it went to profit, then I moved the stop to break even. It didn't want to give me, and then it went up there and stopped me out of that position that initially, you can argue this was a winner that turned into a loser, which is, but this here, from here to here, this wasn't my trade. My trade was from here to way down there. So I am shooting for bigger targets, at least when I'm trying to flip smaller accounts. I'm not interested in those small profits like this. Only when the account grows bigger and you can open like bigger positions, then yes. If you are using like a big size here, like I know one lot around here would be like lots of profits, right? I don't know, this move with one lot, how much it would be. I don't even know. $1,000 or more. Then you have to grab it, right? You have to grab something. But I'm not taking like $30 profits here, for example. 20. Okay, so here you see lots of stops at break even over very, very, very small loss, until I finally was able to place 2 trades up there. Then now Guys, now I don't know. I'm holding. I'm still thinking this might come at least down here. I am using this pitchfork here to manage those trades. I don't want to see the price breaking out of this. And the other thing that is bothering me that I hate, you guys already know, it's the freaking imbalance gaps it leaves behind right when you enter the trade, right? We don't have that efficient price action here. We have these gaps left behind here and here. So, man, I hate that. And it's, man, I guarantee, quote unquote guarantee, right? But more often than not, just because I have some trades here and they left the gaps behind, high probability, just because I have the trades that is going to come up to fill the damn gaps, probably even stop me out just to keep going down. If I didn't have trades here and were waiting for price to come back so I could sell it, then it would just tank, right? It never comes back. It's amazing, right? So, but in one of the reasons I am holding this in hopes it can go a bit lower. It's because I saw a big seller. He came back here. You see this volume here in this bar, like this down move here. It has this huge towering volume here. You see, look at the size of that volume. The bar closing right on these lows there. That's like the seller is back. That same seller that appeared up here. You see, the seller, bang, down bar with a very high volume there, and then price collapsed here. You see, and here it's like twice the size of dots. You see, we had a retracement here from this up move, and now bang, are the sellers back now? Maybe we can get another leg like this, at least one more leg to the downside here. I don't know. Have to keep an eye now on this when the market opens today, because I have to at least break even, right? Because let me open I am at 464 right now. I started last week with 300. I want to be at least at 300. I want to be at least at break even, So I'm going to monitor this, and my limit is this. I really don't want to see price coming above that seller there, right? This guy here. If price is gonna go down, this guy shouldn't let the buyers take the price up here, right? Because if the buyers reverse until up here, so probably price is going to keep going up now. I don't know, maybe this selling was like a climactic selling, showing the end of the move. I don't know. There's that too. So, and if we come here to my analysis chart here, you see, one of the reasons I still confident that price might keep going lower, it's because, remember the method I explained to you guys last week, to wait for the price to rotate to on your higher time frame, rotate to, for example, you want to sell, it rotates to red and it closes below the Heikin Ashi moving average, like there, you see. Okay, so price around here, it closed below the moving average there. You see the Heikin Ashi moving average. And on this bar here, this last bar, I was taking a gamble here because you see that bar, the last bar there, it closed, it's red now, and it's below the moving average. But when price was up here, that bar was green, right? The bar was green, and I was anticipating that it would turn red again, right? remember I told you that when you have that first bar changing color, you can try and go for an anticipation trade there. For so it's what happened here. It's what happened here. So, but also there's also this problem here that you see we have the a minor box forming there. You see, we are inside of that, and that in this is a tricky area. Remember, always when you have the overlapping framework, you see a minor box here, a minor box here, and this is going to be messy, right? And messy and volatile. You see, we are kind of in this range here right now. This is dangerous spot, that's why I have to babysit this. I know when the market opens on Sunday, we don't have the energy and volatility for big spikes, but you never know, right? This could easily reverse and spike up, and I have to be on top of that. But hopefully the volatility is about to hit. Remember, remember I said that when you have the fresh framework forming, it's like a volatility signal, right? You see there the minor box starts to form, and we had the volatility hit to the downside. You see, then you had the minor box forming here, and the volatility hit to the upside there, and there was the spot where I tried the anticipation trade. You see, I sold against that big bar up there, and it worked, but it's risky, very risky. You're going to see that in gold that didn't work out. So now we have the minor box forming here. So hopefully, and if I'm lucky, the volatility is going to hit to the downside, and hopefully we get like another leg like this to the downside here. It would be nice. We'll see. Now, but this is my limit. The top of this bar here is my limit. I even let my stops above it, and I won't touch this, so be it. If price comes here and stop me out, so be it, and I'm almost sure if it comes here and stops me out, it just is going to touch my stops and reverse and tank, as it always does, man. It's amazing. Now on the crude oil, last week I finished the week. I had a cluster of sells here, cluster of orders, and then when the Sunday opened with that gap down, of course I was really happy, right? Really happy. All right, but of course not that happy, because we had that gap left behind, which I hate. And just because I had the sell positions there, of course, the market can't just keep tanking, right? It has to come back and fill the damn gap and stop me out of those positions. I tried to sell here again, stopped out when I was, and then I was finally able to sell up there. Also using the pitchfork again, kind of to gauge I built a position here with out of 4 small positions, which I kept dragging the stops up down here, and I got stopped. Let me check. Show trade history. Here, you see the cluster of orders. I got stopped out at break even, then a lot of break evens, small losses, until I finally was able to get that position there. And then remember, guys, when the price rotates and it starts to run to the downside or the upside, sometimes it won't give you like a nice framework for you to enter, so I was having a feeling that the market would start to run down here, and I was trying to enter here, you see, and unfortunately I got stopped out at everything. But all break evens here, as you can see, a cluster of other orders. I was trying to enter, then I gave up around here, you see, on this last move when it came back up here, I almost sold, but I decided to wait. I thought maybe he wanted to go above this value here and I would sell around here, but it just tanked without me. And it's always like this too. Always when you give up, it does what you wanted, you know? It's like it's testing your resilience or something. You try, and you go, okay, I'll wait. And then at the very moment you give up, it goes, right? It's frustrating and infuriating. So I was half of that position up there. You see, is to have two there. So half of that position, I was dragging the stops, and I got stopped here. I tried to sell again here, got stopped out of break even. Then here I also started to try again. Right here, the bar was red and it turned green just up here. So I was above value, above the moving average, and I was getting that out of the band, shark fin in the water, etc. Right? So I was trying to sell. Lots of break even. Unfortunately, I had a nice cluster here. I got stopped out at most of the positions. I only have two here that he allowed me to keep. So, guys, and now I am kind of managing this like this, and I don't know. I don't know if price is going to keep going down or up now. Quite frankly, if you come here and check the also you see the majority is still long here on the natural gas, so it didn't start to flip, you know. It didn't start to flip, so I still think we can go lower. Okay, so let's check the crude oil here now. So the crude oil, see, just a minute. Come here. She always loves to do that, right? When I'm recording, she comes here and asks for stuff. Okay, so the crude oil, you see up there, we had a flip. You see on the sentiment here, we had it was neutral because, you know, it was around 54%, but here slight majority short, and then around here you see you had the flip there to the majority now is long, 58 long, 61 long, 65 long, and then here 70 long on this day when the but then we start to lose that majority, right? Now we have 59 long, still a slightly bearish bias, you know, and it's kind of respecting this trend line. Maybe this last touch here is just a fake, you know, just for the majority that is looking at the moving average and the trend lines, and then they are all buying here, you know. Oh, I got it, and now the price is just gonna tank here, you know. And if you check the higher time frame, right there, you see we crossed to below value, to below the Heikin Ashi moving average, and now we are on this bar here. You see there, the green bar, and maybe I am anticipating that it's going to be that single green bar, and then the market will continue the down move, you know, like here. Maybe this is like this one, you know, the single red bar, and then turn to green again and continue the move. So here we have a good probability that it could keep going down because we are below value there, and we are below the Heikin Ashi moving average. But, you know, we are not in the clear yet, right? Have to be babysitting this too when the market opens. And you see we had this we had this small imbalance here, which price it didn't fill it completely. You see, let me just hide those trade history now. You see that we had that imbalance there, and we still have this little bit of imbalance there. And trust me, guys, the market is like very anal about this. It might not let this go yet. You know, it might peak and fill this gap like to the tick, to the pip right there, and then reverse. The good thing, the good thing is that we have this imbalance below, right? Then price has to break this guy here. I want to see price come and break this guy, right? And keep going down. And then we have this whole imbalance here, you see? And then filling the imbalance and breaking this guy. We also have this order block. This is actually a good order block, right? Because it's reverse price and we have this imbalance on top of it. We also want to see if price is going to go down, it should break this guy here, right? Because if he comes here and respect that order block and we find buying from there, then that's a bad sign, right? Probably price could be reversing. So I have to keep an eye on that too. And what else? Oh yeah, gold. Man, remember last week when I finished the video last week, I was around here. I had built a sell position around here, right? In gold. So that was there. I was anticipating something like this, right? I had a sell position here, a cluster there, and I was anticipating the price might complete that pattern to the downside like that, right? But of course, it didn't happen. You see, these are those times where, for example, here, it gave me a false signal. You see, this was screaming a reversal, right? You know, it went above the 68th, all this stuff below the mustard. Remember, if we come here and quickly check the natural gas again, that's the same situation as a similar situation, right? That same behave, the same quote unquote pattern. I don't see this as a pattern, but you know, it's kind of a pattern. Okay, it's a behavior that repeats, you know. So we try to turn this into an edge, right? So here it worked. You get like a big nice reversal, right? And here, well, obviously this time it didn't work. You know, at first my positions were, because we gapped down here, we gapped down on Sunday, so this was on the green, right? I was happy. Oh no, crap. But I was still hopeful that price was going to reverse, you see, because we had all this action here below the mustard there. You see, when price came here to fill and stop me out, I tried to sell again because we were touching from below the mustard there. You see, here was still hopeful that the price started to come down, and I thought, now I got you, right? Now I got you. Was very nice. Here I was tapping myself in the back, right? Now I got you. And bang. Damn. What happened, right? High impact news. And of course, guys, of course, just because you have the positions to one side, the news have to push the price to the opposite direction, right? Why couldn't it have pushed why we didn't have this to the downside, right? That would have been great, just because we had positions on, right? If I didn't have any positions here, most likely the volatility was going to hit to the downside, right? So, and then here again, I started to I was on a mission to sell, right? I want to grab that return to fill all those gaps, all those huge gaps. Look at this. This is like unbelievable. Look at this. Look at the size of this. And here was a day where I got stopped out at a bigger loss too. Was that day that I think here and here were the days that I had to rely on limit orders. Here, I think I left a cluster. I had an order here that I was able to build, and here I was happy again, right? Here I had some sales here. The price was around here. I moved everything to break even, and then I saw this mustard going to above 68. You know, this action going up there below the mustard. You see there is. Then I thought, now I got you, right? But before leaving my home, I had built a cluster of limit orders up here, you know, predicting that something like this could happen, you know, a spike up before going down, because those here were bad highs on the TPO chart, very bad highs here. So I was thinking he wouldn't let this go. He wouldn't let this go before going down. Then when I came home during the evening, price was here, right? And I saw I had gotten stopped out at all those positions here, but I was in all of those positions here, so I was really happy again. And now I got you. Now I really got you, right? I saw this, all this action here below the mustard. You see the even with this spiking action up here, the white line could not even go above the mustard. So I thought, now I got you. Now I have this really juicy big reversal to ride. All those cells down here, right? Really happy, happy. Bang! Shit! No, no, I can't believe this. And man, and surely enough, I was trying to sell this freaking vertical bar here, and I was trying to sell here. You're going to see in my trade history there. There's a lot of stops here, stop, stop of me on a mission trying to sell this. And you see here again, the mustard went going above the 68. All the white line, the price action below the mustard. You see the bands compressing. Now, relentlessly going up. When will this buyer give up? I mean, this whole thing here it's pure manipulation, right? I never seen this before. If you go on your chart, open a chart of gold and scroll back as far as you can and see if you can spot a similar behavior like this. I haven't. So I am trying to grab the top, to grab the reversal that's going to crash down and fill all those gaps, you know. We gotta be on top of this to make up for those losses, right? And if I come to the go chart, because look, on Monday around here, if we check the higher time frame, look where you were, right? It was like that, right? The higher time frame was losing momentum. We had the inside bars, looking bars here. You see, you lost momentum around here, right? It was the moment we wanted to see price moving below the hiking lashing moving average and closing below it, right? So, but you see, guys, how here would have been like a good spot to buy if I was following that method I explained to you. We are above the hiking lashing moving average and the higher time frame is green, right? And you see how you become blind to the clues of buying when you have a selling position. When you have sell positions, it's like you start to suffer from a confirmation bias, which is it's how you call it, I forgot now, those biases. cognitive bias we all suffer from, right? A cognitive bias called the confirmation bias. So when you have those sell positions like I had here, you become married, quote unquote, married to the positions, to the bias. So you start to look for clues that conform your positions, and your brain, it completely ignores the clues for a buy, for example. So even though this would be like a nice spot to buy, you know, I wasn't seeing that because I had the cluster of cells here, and I was rooting for the price to come down, and I was looking for excuses and looking for clues, stuff that only confirms that price could go down. You know, oh, the majority is long. We have this, right? The mustard is there, and etc. And at my own risk, I ignored that the higher time frame was green there, right, and above the moving average. So actually, this would have been a perfect spot to buy, right? And I didn't. I just all this all this time here, all this price action here, I was with still with the negative bias, right? Bearish bias, wanting to sell, to sell, to sell. When price got up there, you see on the higher time frame, it hit the value line, right? So we were still above the Heikin Ashi moving average, and the candles on a higher time frame were still green. You know, the weekly was green, the monthly green. So we have I mean, screaming buy, right? A very strong force from the higher time frames pushing price up. And but I was still with the bearish bias. You see, I was looking at that uh, indicator down there with the mustard went above the 68, imminent reversal and stuff, and selling. You see, if I this was like very big selling here on those bars. If I don't, let me show you quickly here. Let me show you this quickly. Where is gold? Where is that day on gold? Oops. That day. So we had that very big selling there on it grabbed liquidity, closed on the lows with a very high volume, so which was still lower than the volume of this buy here, right? Look at this buy. But guys, you see, you got married to the positions into the bias. And what I was looking for now was that you see there on the higher time frame, I will see, price is getting rejected from above the value line, right? Like price is settling below value. You see, yeah, look, price is getting rejected from the value there. You see, now price is going to reverse. So even though there wasn't a good framework here to buy, unless you try to, if you were following the method of buying below value when the higher time frame is green and above the high candlestick average, you would have tried to buy around here, right? We were below value and stuff. We went below the band, out the band, inside the band again there, you see. But this is stuff I was blind to because I was on a mission to sell this, right? But fortunately, I was using like the smallest positions possible and very tight stops and moving to break even and stuff. So that's why I didn't blow up, right? I wasn't using like huge 100 pip stops and not using stops and stuff. But but still, it was a bad performance, guys. Bad performance because I still lost money, right? It could have been a way better week. So now we we moved above value there on the higher time frame, you see, and we're still going up here. And this day it didn't give you a framework to buy, it just keep going up, 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 up. And surely enough, as you can see there, if I turn the trade history on here, see all that cluster there, the cluster break even, then this cluster small losses, all break even, trying to add here, thinking that the price was going to start to go down from here, break even, break even, break even, break even, break even. Here was the day, oh yes, here was the day that I had to leave my house and I had to leave a bigger stop for those positions. But this is the cluster of orders I had left that got activated when I got home. Here I was happy, right? I was really happy. Now I got you. No, you don't. Bang. Stopped out. Here, stopped out at those positions too. Here, yes, in this day here, yes, I had a cluster. I had to leave a bigger stop. And for those orders, I set the stop at the same level of those orders here. So they all got stopped out at the same. And surely enough, on those, no, this day I had to leave home. This day I had to leave home. And this day, oh yes, this day I just left home for lunch. So when I got back home was around, yeah, I saw all this happening. And I was trying to sell, trying to sell, break even. You see, trying to sell, break even. See, I'm trying, man, on a mission to sell, to pick a top here. And now, let me hide this stuff. And now, I was able to build this cluster here, and probably gonna get stopped out again. I don't know. I probably, and you know what? Now, if I finally decide to give up, is that moment when you decide to give up. Okay, you want to keep going up. I will give up now. I will wait, and then when you give up, this thing is going to tank and crash down, right? Without you, right at the time when you gave up. It's always like that, isn't it? We'll see. And GBP USD, we had a nice opportunity here on this day was the best opportunity. Here we had crossed below value there on a higher time frame, you see, crossed below, okay, I mean crossed above the hiking lashing moving average and going up, create a framework, came below framework. Here would be a nice spot to buy, you see, out of the band, inside the band again. And I didn't buy here because I had the positions on gold and crude oil and stuff, and I didn't want to spread myself too thin, you know, because I didn't have margin enough to do it. Didn't want to get margin call if I started to get heat on the other position, so I had to let this one go. But you see, you would have, it's that case where you would have to have close partials here, because if you kept holding everything, you would have gotten stopped out at everything around here. Then you see on a higher time frame, it rotated to red, and then it moved to below the moving average, so the high connection moving average there. So here you would be thinking about selling above value, right? So, but you had those high impact news which made the volatility hit to the upside, you see. So here you had the sentiment, you see, the majority was long here, then majority short, majority long again. It was kind of flipping. Here we have great majority short now. Here it didn't give you any chance to enter, no framework, you see, he just kept running away, couldn't buy here. And guys, do you see on the higher time frame, what do you see? The major, I mean the minor box forming, right? You see, you had the minor box forming there, you were inside that box, which it's the tricky place to trade when the volatility hits. So it hit to the upside this time, and you see when the minor box started to form there, the volatility hit to the downside. You see overlapping framework here, minor box, minor box, minor box. These are very tricky places to trade, you know. And I found it interesting that when we have these minor boxes forming and the volatility hitting the market, usually it's when we have high impact news. It's a coincidence? I don't know. I have to make a historical analysis to see if when we have this value forming, if it's coinciding with high impact news. I'm gonna have a look at that this week. And of course on EURUSD, a similar situation, because those markets are highly correlated, right? So on that day, on that same good opportunity here, you see we had crossed above value there on a higher time frame green candles above the hiking national moving average. So created framework here, we came below value, and you could have timed the entry here, you see, out the band and then inside the band around here again. So it's a place you could have tried to enter and buy here. And that same situation where you have to make a decision to take partials, or you're going to get stopped out at everything, right? So here I wrote it down to show you guys, because here you see the majority, great majority were short, so we had the positive bias, right? So you wanted to buy again, you missed this one, so okay, now it's giving me a chance to buy again below value, right? And this day it started the sentiment, it started at 54 long, so you see it flipped overnight around here. From 73 short, it flipped to 54 long. So that was weird, you know. Why? So now, and if you check the higher time frame, this action here was that flip there. You see that flip to red, and then it went below the moving average. So here it would be hard to be thinking about buying, right? And then bang, volatility hit to the upside here. And then halfway through the day, the sentiment, it came back to 73% short again. Here increased, and here the price just ran away and didn't give you any framework to be able to enter this. And you see there on a higher time frame, it hit that the first sell side liquidity, didn't even flinch, but now it targeted the next one. You see there up there where it's going for? I don't know if it hit it or not. No, doesn't seem, almost hitting that liquidity there. And I think I tried something here on those days. I tried to buy it. Yeah, I tried to buy it here when we were below value, and we had the price up there on the TDI getting inside the band again. I tried to buy, and when price was up here, I moved to break even, and then I gave up. I gave up because the higher time frame was changing to red and going below the Heikin National moving average, so I gave up here. Then I tried to sell here when it's trying to anticipate something like this, you know. I was out of the band, almost getting inside the band again, and trying to anticipate the completion of the master pattern, right? Something like this. Obviously didn't work, and I gave up on this. And similar situation here, I try to, at the end of the day, I try a sell there, you see, just because price was nearing the 68 level and then all this action below the mustard. So I tried one sell here, very small position, so really don't care if I get stopped out here, 0.01, just to test the waters. You see here on the 30 minutes we are compressed bands and the mustard is at the 68, so we might get a reversal there. I don't know, we'll see. Here I think I also tried to buy it. Yeah, I tried to buy it when it was when it was getting below value there, and we got that shark fin in the water there and stuff. So everything here is break even at least. Then I gave up. Here I also tried to anticipate some reversal here when it was looking like it was getting inside the band again there on the TDI, but also gave up. But also, guys, trying to do this stuff with very small positions, like 0.01 there, you see, those are very, very small losses, just testing the waters there too. On Bitcoin, we had a nice opportunity to sell this week. I saw it just after the fact. I was entertained with all the other trades, so I didn't even look at this. But if you were following that method I explained last week, you see, price up there rotated to red on the higher time frame, you see, moved to below the Heikin National moving average, started to tank, and here created a framework. We went above value, above the moving average, shark fin in the water there, you see. Here would have been like a very nice trade. Look there on the higher time frame, and look here, very textbook stuff here, and price just tanked. It has been a very nice trade there, you see. Here didn't give you framework, just kept running away. Here would have been a bit hard to try to sell this because you started to have a green bar there, right? You could have tried an anticipation trade here because it was the first green bar after all those red bars, you know. You could have tried anticipating that the next bars would rotate to red, right? A nice opportunity there. Soybeans. Yeah, soybeans getting messy because I can see minor box forming there. Let me change this color to a little lighter color. Yeah, there's a minor box forming there, so kind of a messy area. Still trying to make sense of the sentiment, not enough data yet. And guys, let me check. Yeah, the only thing I have, another thing I have going on for me here to hold on to the natural gas and the crude oil is because you see the dollar here. It's also looks like that it might be going for a reversal. You know, we have the TDI hitting the 32 there, very compressed bars, and we have that massive A gap with imbalance gap there, you see behind. So if we start getting that reversal on Sunday and the rest of the week, the dollar decides to reverse here to go up there, then that's going to push the price down here, right? If the dollar starts to reverse, then you're gonna have a nice move down here and on the natural gas too, right? Hopefully. We'll see. Well, guys, that's it for this week, okay? I see you on the next video.